Okay, so that's live on YouTube. And then let's go back to Zoom. Got it. Great, okay. So the class always begins in the same way. Always begins with 15 minutes of gentle stretching and bending exercises. Okay, so to begin our exercises, we just stand with the feet at shoulder width. Okay, so that's wider than your hips is the first observation. Obviously, our shoulders are wider than our hips. We often tend to stand at hip width just naturally. So what we're asking for is something a bit wider than that, and just with the knees softly bent, the back nice and straight, and the arms gently hanging down by your sides. This exercise comes from deep inside the belly. In the core of us here, we have what's called lower dantian, the lower energy field. And what we're going to do is just gently turn that from side to side. So start by just making a soft and gentle turn, see how your back feels, and then do the other side as well. It's always good just to check out and see if there's any muscles that are kind of giving you a little bit of a warning. And then we can just release the waist and start to turn from side to side. Keep the shoulders soft, keep the elbows relaxed, let the hands gently curl around the body. Open up the palms, let them tap onto the side of the body. And just feel your wrist pumping gently on the small of your back. Feel your wrist gently tapping onto your belly button. So today we'll do our 15 minutes warm up and then move on to doing a standing meditation. The 15-minute warm up is something I always do before every class. The reason is twofold. I do it from a teacher's perspective because it means that people can arrive 5 minutes late for the class, 10 minutes late for the class, and still know what's going on. I used to find that if people were running a few minutes late, they would instantly give themselves the excuse not to come along, say, oh, I didn't want to interrupt you. So from very early on, I said to people, just walk in and begin. That was my ploy to make sure that people came to class. But there's another reason behind it as well, which is what's called getting into a chi state. So this exercise quickly becomes familiar for your body. It doesn't take too many repetitions of these simple exercises for your body just to start to literally embody the exercises. You can do them without really thinking about it. So from time to time, I'll say things to you like, make sure your knees are still bent, make sure your back's still straight, just to kind of remind you about the form, because we don't want to stray too far away from the form. But it has to be said that obviously the form's going to be different for everybody because everybody's body's different. Perhaps through sitting at a desk or through driving a car, as your job, whatever it might be, you've sort of changed the shape of your spine or your shoulders a little bit. And that's going to mean that obviously your form will look slightly different to someone else's. It doesn't really matter. It's not important. It's what's right for your body. So we're just working away with this exercise, just gently turning from the waist. So what happens when you first start doing this exercise is that sometimes you can end up feeling a little bit dizzy because the chi starts to move up in your body. It kind of gets released by this exercise. And sometimes it can end up in your head. Not always, but sometimes. It can make you feel a bit lightheaded. So in order to counteract that, we employ one of the first principles of healing. And that principle is a Chinese idea called Yidao Qidao. Yidao means where the mind goes, Qidao, the qi follows. And so where the mind goes, the qi flows. So the idea is to put your mind in your feet. So if you feel dizzy, that is, if you feel lightheaded, put your mind in your feet. So it begs the question, where should the mind be while we're practicing? First of all, when we start off, we start thinking about, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the same thing as everybody else? Do I look silly? All these sort of questions. The next stage after that is that when you relax into it and you feel, okay, I think everything's all right, your mind can then start to drift. And so then you'll be doing your exercise and your mind will be in aisle 4 of Tesco's picking up the cereal. So the place we'd really like the mind to be is in the belly. We're trying to turn from the core of the body, really from the very center of the body. It generates the movement. And so as it moves from side to side, it creates the movement of the spine. As the spine moves, the shoulders, elbows, wrists, and hands respond. As the spine moves, the hips, knees, and ankles respond. And so we have this deep core idea of energy deep inside the belly. So if you're a traditional martial artist, you know that the dantian is 3 fingers below your belly button and 1 finger in. So they map it out very, very carefully, and you'll often see martial artists put their fingers just below their belly button and sort of think about this area. And the reason that they have their energy field there is that they're moving the energy down in their body towards their genitalia, towards their kind of like testosterone, if you like, to make you more aggressive, to make you more of a fighting person. And so the lower dantian is thought of as being somewhere else in martial arts. Well, it's an energy field. So it could really be anywhere you like. I mean, you could have your lower dantian in your left toe if you wanted. It wouldn't make any sense and you'd be fantastically out of balance. But the point about it is that it's a conceptual idea. However, it's not that conceptual at all, because where you concentrate your mind, the energy starts to gather. And so if you concentrate your mind behind the belly button, in that space between the belly button and the sort of front of the spine, as it were, if you start thinking about that area, there's nothing really there as far as, well, there's plenty there anatomically, but there's nothing, massively important anatomically there. Deep inside the body, there's this space that we're thinking of where our energy starts to gather. This is the space that's creating this turn. If you find yourself feeling dizzy and the energy has moved up into your head, then just concentrate on your toes. Think about your toes. Squeeze your toes against the ground. Feel that impact point between the toe and the floor, and actually just experience it. Feel how it feels when each toe presses gently against the floor. And just do that for a minute or so. And what tends to happen is that the mind draws the chi away from the head, moves the chi downward in the body, and you start feeling less dizzy. In a moment, we'll stop this exercise, and there's another good exercise for balancing yourself afterwards. Okay, but we're just going to change this exercise now. We're going to slow it down a little bit. So make it half the speed or a little bit slower. Make the turn a bit longer. Look over your shoulder. Really stretch your neck out. So now we've taken the last part of the spine, just above the shoulders, all the way underneath the skull, just stretching that out as well. So it's a kind of whole body rotation. Gets all of the joints moving, gets the spine rotating, gets the chi moving deep inside your body. Okay, so we have lower dantian deep in the belly that's creating these movements. In the center of your chest, you have middle dantian, the middle energy field, and that tends to kind of relate to all the organs in your body, to the major ones: heart, pancreas, the lungs, kidneys, and your liver spleen kind of being twins separated at birth. So we have this connection with our lower dantian. We also have our middle dantian, which is, I'm just going to mute you there, Chris. Our middle dantian, which is deep inside the center of our chest. And then we have upper dantian, which sits right up on top of in the center of your brain. And so there's this kind of idea that if you went in through the third eye, so the third eye is between your eyebrows, top of the nose, deep inside the center of your head, you're going to find the pineal gland or the pituitary gland, and that would be the center of the upper energy field. So you have these 3 energy fields, and we're able to just gently turn them now. Let's bring all that to a stop. So slow down. Don't have to stop quickly. Just bit by bit, gently, gently, slowly, slowly, let the whole thing drift to a halt. Okay, so pick up some chi. Imagine plugging your hands into the earth, lift up a ball of energy, draw it up into the blue sky, and then pour it down through your body. So we draw the hands down, let the shoulders release, let the elbows release, let the hands release, bring them down over the crown of the head, gently past the third eye, gently past the center of your chest, drawing the energy down with your fingertips all the way down to your belly button. Imagine it deep inside just for a second or so, and then relax the hands, and the chi continues to flow on down into the ground. So let's just do that a few times. It's called pulling down heavens, drawing down the heavens. We imagine taking this energy down. Any excess energy from the head gets moved down, drawn deep into the center of the chest, and then drawn deep into the center of the belly. And then let the hands relax, almost as if creating a circuit with the chi. We'll do that again, lift up. So normally 3 times is enough to stabilize yourself. But if you feel dizzy, the instruction is just to keep going. If you want to do more of this, just do 10 times. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. All of these lessons are designed for you, not for me. So the point about it is that if you need to do something, if you think to yourself, God, I still feel completely dizzy, you could always sit down, you could lie down, you could just keep on doing this in a sitting posture, do it 10 times if you need to, and then just come back to whatever else the class is doing. We'll do some forward bends as well, forward and back bends. So now we've kind of rotated our spine. It's time for us to go do stretch backward and forward. So just the same again, put the hands in the earth, lift up and stretch up into the blue sky. But this time, just give yourself a nice long stretch up, really, really opening up. We're going to open the front of the body. So we're just going to lean back from the breastbone all the way back to the middle fingers, really kind of open up the body there. Your hips and knees will drift forward a little bit, and then you can straighten up. Lean back, exhale, and then straighten up. It's a gentle breath out as you lean back. Gentle breath in as you stretch up. Once more, gently back, opening the front of the body and up. Okay, so the next part, we haven't got our arms squeezed against our ears. We've got a bit of space here between the arms and the ears, but we're going to try and coordinate the arms and ears. So we just tip over the arms and ears, and all we're doing is just bending the nape of the neck. The body stays straight. And then we can start to move into the upper back, start to move into the middle back, start to move into the lower back. You can keep your knees soft. Just let the body gently relax and hang down. So the body, nice and easy, soft and relaxed. Top of the head is just basically sort of heading down towards the floor. Tummy tucked in slightly. Okay, so just imagine your foot split into 4 pieces. Stretch gently down towards your toes. And then release that bend. Imagine a line that's drawn between the roots of your toes. Just gently stretch towards that line. And release. Imagine a line that's drawn between your insteps. Gently stretch towards that line. And release. And imagine a line drawn between your heels. As you can see, we just get gently deeper with each bend. Release, relax, just let the body hang here. Okay, so to bring ourselves standing upright, we've got a kind of mechanism. You point your tailbone up, right up into the blue sky behind you. And then you push your tailbone towards the front and start to assemble the spine vertebra by vertebra. Try and bring up the arms and ears as one coordinated item as well. So that just gives an extra kind of stretch to the top of the neck. Bring the hands up to full height, stretch up. Just let the knees and hips drift forward as you softly exhale back. Stretch up, gently back, up, gently back, up, and gently back. Great. Okay, so stretch hands up into the blue sky. Arms and ears coordinated, not pressed together. They just take over the top of the neck. So you really feel like you bend the nape of the neck. And then you start into the upper back bending, middle back bending, lower back bending. Let the body relax down. Back of the neck is soft. Body just hangs here. Nice and easy. Easy relaxation. Okay, so our first little bend takes us down towards the toes. Just exhale softly toward the toes. And then release.
in line with the roots of our toes, and release. Heading towards our insteps, and release. Working back towards our heels, getting a little bit deeper each time. Release, relax, body hangs. Point your tailbone up behind, sort of slightly straightens the legs. Push the tailbone to the front and start to assemble the spine. Arms and ears come up at the same speed, just lifting up that kind of extra cantilever stretch as you bring the hands up into the blue sky. Stretch up, stretch up. Good. Drift the knees and hips forward. You can gently lean back. Stretch up and gently back. Up and back. Up and back. Hands up into the blue sky. Can you do the next 2 rounds of this with your legs straight? If you can, that'd be great. So again, we do the arms and ears tipping over. Try and keep the legs as straight as you can as you go down. The idea is just to give yourself an extra hamstring stretch as you go into this bend. So we go gently over, and as you go down, you'll feel that the hamstrings just activate a little bit. In fact, you can activate them a bit more just by shifting the weight a little bit forwards into your toes. And just really feel the back of the legs opening up. Tummy's tucked in, head is relaxed downwards. Very often you find yourself lifting your head up to see what's going on or see if you're in the right posture. Just release the neck entirely. Okay, again, legs straight, stretching gently down towards the toes and release. In line with the roots of our toes and release. Heading towards the insteps and release. Working back toward the heels. Body relaxes and hangs. Tailbone lifts up behind, pointing up into the blue sky. Tailbone swings to the front and the spine starts to assemble. Arms and ears come up as one piece and we stretch gently up. Up, up, up into the blue sky. Long stretch. Release knees and hips forward. You can gently lean back and exhale. Stretching up. Gently back. Stretching up. Gently back. Up. And back. Last time through. Hands in the blue sky. Arms and ears tip over. Body stays straight. Upper back bends. Middle back bends. Lower back bends. Whole body starts to settle down. We keep the legs as straight as we can. Just allow the body to hang and relax there. Nice and easy. The weight gently shifted forward to your toes. Just by shifting the weight forward to the toes, we get this little extra hamstring stretch. Just really opens up the back of the legs in a satisfying way. Okay, so we make our first little bend. Takes us straight down towards our toes. Release. In line with the roots of our toes. Release. In line with our insteps. Gradually getting deeper. And release. Back toward the heels. Let the arms hang down. Let the body relax. Lift the tailbone up behind. Push the tailbone to the front. Roll the spine up and bring up the head and the arms and the ears. We never come up from these bends quickly because we can make ourselves really dizzy if we do that. Stretch up. Knees and hips drift forward. And up. Back. And up. Back. And up. And back. Hands up in the blue sky. Okay, so we're just going to let the hands drift gently down the sides of the body. So they just gently come down. Then again, we can do our balancing exercise because if we've been inverted there, sometimes the chi moves up into your head. So again, just plug your hands in the earth, lift up chi, imagine a great big ball of energy you can lift up, and then you can just pour it down through your body, moving chi from your head drawing chi deep into your chest, deep into your belly, really settling and calming yourself. And then when we relax the hands, it's as if the circuit continues back into the earth. It's like you're a tree plugged into the earth. You lift this chi up, pull the chi down through your tree body, your trunk, deep into the center. And then continue, let it flow down through your roots back into the earth. We'll gather again, lift chi up and pour chi down. And just let the hands relax, chi down to the belly, and then just let the hands relax down. So the last of our warm-up exercises, just some side bends. So as you see, first of all, we've rotated our spine, then we've gone forward and backwards. Now we'll go left and right to complete the story. Okay, so right hand, just take a gentle breath in and lift your right hand up in the air. When you breathe out, you're just going to tip over to the left-hand side. So gently tip over to the left. You can support yourself with your left hand if you need to, but otherwise, if not, just let the whole right side of the body gently open. You can open from your right ankle all the way through your right shoulder to your right middle finger. So take a breath in and gently exhale and stretch to the left. Breathe in and stretch. Breathe in, stretch. Breathe in and stretch. So breathe in, lift the right hand up. When you breathe out, you can swap right hand over, bring the left hand up. Good, take a nice breath in with the left. Gently fold over towards the right. So we're opening all the way from that left ankle to that left middle finger, that huge arc of the side of the body. Take a gentle breath in. When you exhale, stretch and open that arc. Breathe in and stretch. Breathe in and stretch. Breathe in and stretch. Okay, so we take our breath in, lift up the left hand. As we breathe out, swap the hands over. Just go through the whole thing one more round. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out over to the left side. Okay, gentle breath in. Stretch. Gentle breath in. Stretch. 3. Stretch. And 4. Stretch. Breathe and lift up. Exhale, swap over. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out and exhale over to the right, opening the left side of your body. Good, nice breath in. Stretch. 2. Stretch. 3. Stretch. And 4. Stretch. Okay, so lift the hands both up into the air then. Up into the blue sky. And then when you release your hands, you just drift them gently down. Good, we'll finish off that gathering exercise one more time. Just lift a ball of chi up. And we're just imagining bringing this energy to the center of our body. This is where we really want to be, is centered deep in the belly. All of your focus kind of comes to the belly button, to this space in behind, and then you just relax the hands down. So let's do that a few times, bring ourselves back to our center. So very often people feel like they spend a lot of time in their heads. And this is a great exercise just to bring you back into your body. We're really, really trying to focus you deep into the ground, sorry, deep into the belly.
what I was thinking there is that a lot of people often say, oh, I need to be more grounded. But I think the answer is you need to be more centered. I think, it's not too much in the ground. It's not too much in your head. It's right in the center of your belly, in the center of your body is where you really need to be. So really focus your mind into the center of your body. As I say, Idao, Qidao, where the mind goes, the energy goes deep inside. That's where you start to gather. So if you have your mind in this space behind the belly, what we'll do now is we'll put our hands on that place. So just lift up, gather, gently draw down. And as you come down to the belly button, you can just land your hands on there. Just settle your hands, one palm on top of the other, and those palms on top of your belly button. And then put your mind deep inside, behind the belly button. So what's that space feel like? What does it look like? Perhaps it looks like some sort of balloon deep inside. Perhaps it looks like an ember of some sort. Perhaps there's a glowing pilot light inside there. Perhaps it's like I once had an image of it looking like one of those marvelous marbles you used to have as a kid, with the sort of the beautiful colored thing deep in the center of the marble. Strange images. But whatever seems to work for you, it's some sort of device deep in the center of your belly where you can just sort of focus your attention there. The more you fit, perhaps it's like a nuclear fuel rod, something from The Simpsons, it's a green glowing, whatever it might be, deep in the center of your belly. You just get this idea of what it might look like for you, a furnace, a boiler. So we have this deep, deep idea, and we're just concentrating our minds in there. And the more you put your mind there, the more the energy gathers there. So just a little bit of logic behind that. If you walk through a door and you whack your elbow on the side of it, and you immediately you look at your elbow and you rub your elbow and you focus on that, and you're looking at the elbow and rubbing it furiously. By staring at your elbow and rubbing it furiously, you're drawing your chi there, you're drawing your blood there. All the healing resources in the blood, the oxygen and nutrients, move there. And that's how the healing process begins. So what we've done here is we've drawn our minds to our bellies, and we're bringing all the energy into the center of the body. So this is the main store of chi in your body. If we build up our chi here, then we're going to keep excess energy for when the body requires it. So if you know anything about acupuncture, you'll know that round your waist, there's a channel called the belt channel, Dai Mai. And that is sort of circles round you. But actually running up and down your body, there are 8 channels that run from your legs up into your body. There's 8 channels that run from your arms into your body. There's 8 channels that run down. There's 4 channels that run down from your head into your chest. And all of these come down to the body, and they all kind of pass by this central area, lower dantian. And they're all kind of like bound into a hoop, if you like, by this waist channel, Dai Mai. Please, if you're an acupuncturist, forgive my rough treatment of your skill and art. But yeah, so we have all these channels running through our body and this area of high concentration that's nearby all of them. So the idea is that if you gather all this energy deep inside, then the likelihood is you'll be able to supply those channels more easily because you've got all this energy built deep in the core of you. So what we're doing now is we're doing standing Qigong. You've got your feet at shoulder width, nice and generous and wide. So the feet might prove to be the first problem. Standing for an hour is something we don't ever do. We tend to shuffle from foot to foot. We find something we can rest our bum on, something we can lean against, a lamppost, whatever it might be. We tend not to just stand for an hour. So that in itself is already a tricky practice. When you stand for an hour, the first thing that's going to happen is that your mind is saying to you, let's not do this. We've got 20 other things to do. Gosh, what are you doing? Just standing here like a fool. So the first thing we have to get past is our mind complaining about this. And the second thing we might have to get past is our feet feeling sore. Sometimes you get really sore feet. And if that's the case, just give your feet a little shake. It's all right. Don't worry about it. You can move the feet a tiny bit. We can just improve our posture ever so slightly by having the heels just a tiny bit wider than the toes. So rather than having your feet completely parallel, you can just shift your heels a tiny bit wider. And you'll notice that when you move the weight slightly forward into your toes, that you have as almost like a coming together of the knees. They soften towards each other a little bit. They're not touching, but they're just kind of heading in the same direction. And what happens there is that we have a bent knee and the weight moves to the front of the foot. When we stimulate the front of the foot like that, we open up an acupuncture point called Yongquan, the kidney point. Energy starts to flow down into the earth. Energy starts to flow out of the earth into the body. When the knee is a little bit bent, we're suddenly able to flow more energy through the knee than when it's straight. So often when you stand at a bus stop, you lock your knees to support your body. But now in Qigong, we unlock our knees. And now the qi is flowing from the earth much more easily into our body. Conversely, also from our body into the earth. So anything that needs to be got rid of can be sort of drained out of the body very easily. And anything that needs to be gathered can draw up into the body with great ease. So that's one aspect, the yin earth below us. But we've also got the yang heavens above. So with this knees bent, just sit your tailbone down towards the ground. It's almost like you're sitting on a dining room chair, a straight back chair. You've got a nice long straight back. Tailbone goes down. Top of the head gently pushes up. So tailbone in Chinese we call Wei Lu. You'll often hear teachers say, draw Wei Lu down. So you imagine your tailbone being pulled down towards the earth. And then on top of the head is Bai Hui, this kind of crown point, crown chakra, if you like. Push that up into the blue sky. So we've got the acupuncture point on top of the head stretching up and the tailbone one stretching down. And that's going to be straightening your spine a little bit. So the spine, when it's straight, the qi travels through it much more easily. So we try and take up this kind of nice straight posture. But there are other little adjustments that can be made to it. You can tip your tailbone towards the front of your body just a tiny bit, and you'll feel the small of your back just getting a bit flatter, just getting a bit straighter. You can tuck your chin slightly back towards the spine, and that just straightens up the cervical curve just above your shoulders. So we tuck our tailbone softly forwards, draw our chin softly backwards, drop tailbone down, sit down, and then push the top of the head up. And that is your spine at its absolute straightest. Now you're really gathering energy. Blue sky qi pouring down through the Bai Hui point on top of your head, pouring into your body. And then, of course, any energy that needs to be released out of the body can go up through there as well. This is the optimum posture for gaining healing energy. The only thing that gets in the way of this process is the mind. Your mind doesn't want to settle. It's like a puppy. It wants to run away at every opportunity, go sniffing around, find something new to do. You have to gently draw the puppy back, bring it back time and time again, till eventually, as the dog gets older, it just becomes more settled, calm, and stays. But it does take training. So don't be offended when your mind wanders away. And occasionally when I say bring your mind back, you'll realize that you've been off thinking about today's work, today's shopping, today's, argument, whatever it might be. And so we draw the mind back inside. We try and bring our mind down to our belly. Try and concentrate on the core of us. Knees are softly bent. Back is nice and straight. Chin tucked. Tailbone gently forward. You in this sitting posture. This is you really gathering energy now. This is where your mind trips over the body from work mode into healing mode. This is where the cells can start to repair themselves. So what tends to happen is that during the day, our cells work away furiously, and all the byproducts of that work end up floating around in the interstitial fluid inside the cell. When we sleep, the body starts to cleans away all the debris. So your cells have got two work modes, work mode and cleaning mode. But now when you settle into standing Qigong, when you settle and quieten your mind, your body can move into healing mode. It's like an extra session, an extra healing during your day. So we put ourselves in the optimum posture for gathering lots of good energy in. This is also the optimum posture for releasing trapped chi. Anything that's not required in the body can be released. But we put our mind into a quiet state where the body can go into healing mode as well. So now we're starting to change our chemical makeup. Now we're starting to use this extraordinary chemistry set that we've been given to help our bodies. Daily life, you're rushing around feeling stressed. Stress hormones flood your body. Toxicity affects the tissues in your body. Now, in Qigong mode, soft and relaxed, your body can let out a big sigh. Ah, thank heavens, just a moment of relaxation. And as it does so, all the cells start to clean themselves. They're not required for anything else. They just think, oh, here we go, opportunity to spring clean, open the windows, open the doors, brush out the debris. So you put yourself into this lovely liminal state where your body can start to heal itself. The only thing that's going to derail that is the mind. Sometimes I use a simple image. It came to me when I lived in South Africa. I went to a drive-in movie. It's quite nice being at a drive-in movie. You sit in your car with your popcorn and a big screen in front of you. It's all dark around you, just the big screen. But occasionally you'd be at a drive-in movie and a few raindrops would fall, splatter on the windscreen. So you just gently switch the wipers on, and then the screen is clear again. It's the same with our mind. We have the pictures floating through our head. But from time to time, we just need to gently wipe a wiper across the internal screen of our mind and clear away whatever images are there. So you find yourself thinking of shopping, Tesco's, and then you just gently wipe, push it out of your vision, allow it to disappear. Each time something comes up, you can gently push it away. And very often, the mind can bring up incredibly important things because the mind doesn't want you to settle. Your ego is keen that you don't do this. Your ego wants you to be living the old life, doing the same old things, not making change. But unfortunately, your ego has been quite an unreliable witness for a long time. And it's frankly what has got you into a lot of trouble. And so we're just going to quietly let the ego settle itself down. The ego is a bit like your guard dog. It barks at everything. And someone says, I don't think you should be doing that. And you feel a bit offended. Your ego immediately leaps up and goes, ruff, 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 ruff. And you find yourself shouting at someone, trying to defend the indefensible very often. So we just let the guard dog go back in its kennel and settle down for a while. We gently brush away the ideas. We leave ourselves in this quiet, liminal space. And we just accept the fact that we're not going to be good at this, that every minute or so something else will distract us. But just becoming aware of those distractions is important. That's the first step. And gently brushing them aside, not worrying, just letting them go. So we start to find ourselves in this soft, quiet space, mind in the belly, body in the perfect posture for gathering chi. Relax the body. Try and soften it. And yeah, sure, when you first start doing these exercises, they can be uncomfortable. So if you need to give the body a little move, move your tailbone a bit or move your knees a bit or stretch your back a little bit, whatever it is you need to do. Sometimes for me, I sort of lift up in the center of my chest because I feel a little pain between my shoulder blades. And if I find if I raise my chest a tiny bit, then suddenly the pain goes away. So you have to kind of find your version of the Zheneng Qigong standing posture. That takes a little while of experimentation. Can you find something that's sustainable for you? Anyway, the idea is that Over a period of time, it becomes much easier. Over a period of time, your mind settles much more quickly. Over a period of time, you can find yourself much more steady in this healing space. Your mind gently expands. It's no longer just trapped in your head. Let it venture through your body. Where do you want to heal today? Perhaps you know exactly where that is. Perhaps your mind says something completely different. You think, I'd like to heal my knees, and your mind is saying, oh, I'd like to heal the stomach. And you think, that's weird. I want to do my knees. I know they're the problem. But actually, then you discover things like the channel from the stomach goes through your knees. And so perhaps it was right in the first place. So, let your body's intelligence work. Whatever you feel you want to work on today, it might not be the obvious place. Or you could come to a compromise with your body. You could say, right, we'll do a bit of healing on the knees and we'll do a bit of healing on the stomach. And so, come to a compromise with your body, with your mind. What we do is take our mind, imagine it like a lighthouse. You can sort of shine a huge beam of light through your body, illuminate whatever it is that you want to work with. So perhaps in this image, you could send this beam of light into your right knee. Just imagine this beam of light opening up and sort of expanding and warming and making space in your right knee. And then you can move across to your left knee and do the same thing. Just illuminate it, make space, see it perfect and healed. And you can come down to your stomach and expand, send light there. Imagine this kind of illuminated area of your body, a healing sort of glow of energy there. And then just switch the light off, just bring your mind back to settle down and relax. And so you can be part of the healing process. The truth is your body really knows how to deal with it anyway. But you could just sort of, exaggerate, exacerbate, accelerate perhaps by bringing your mind to the healing areas or to the areas you'd like to heal. So we kind of switch on this healing idea for a moment, and then we just relax back into our standing posture. Scan through the body, then we can scan around the body. Just feel into the space around you. Just feel into the room you're working in or the area you're working in. Just imagine expanding a bit further. Think about blue sky. Everybody can think of a beautiful blue sky day. Even when you're flying in the clouds, you suddenly go above a certain height and poof, you're going to this beautiful blue dome. Think of the blue sky on the beautiful day of summer. No clouds, total clarity, this kind of beautiful, perfect clarity. Blue sky chi all around you. You can draw some of this amazing blue sky chi back into your body. Imagine every cell in your body benefits when you bring this incredible energy inside. We also think about good information. The idea of sending good information into each of your cells. But where would this good information come from? Well, inside your DNA, we know there's this kind of instruction set that sends messages through the body, that creates messages, I suppose. But where did that DNA come from? Imagine somewhere in the blue sky, there's a vast library of information. Imagine like somewhere you could go, like a town hall, where you can find the blueprint of you, the blueprint of the construction of you. Imagine you can find your original DNA construction. Imagine drawing this wonderful information back to your body, telling every cell how it was supposed to be, not how it is now. We know that life makes all sorts of changes. The slings and arrows of outrageous misfortune can change your body. But also we can imagine rewriting the software, getting an upgrade, moving, perhaps that's not a good image, from Windows 10 to Windows 11, that sort of thing. I think that might fill people with lots of trauma, actually, to be fair. But just imagine that you could successfully upgrade your computer, and that everything is better when you do it. Suddenly, the image, I don't want you to dwell on that actually. Think about upgrading your body. New light information inside every cell. Remembering, literally reminding, remind. Remind your body how you want it to be. Every cell working well. Every cell in your body, perfect working order. All functions of your body, perfect working order. Whole body soft and relaxed and opened. Blood and chi flowing well through your body. New information populating every cell and every system. Your mind just gentle and quiet and relaxed, settled into the background. It's almost like you could gently push the whole of your mind to one side. When we get the mind out of the way, the body can just do what it naturally does really well. It can just move into healing. So we're just going to use a very simple tool called La Chi. La Chi translates as stretching chi. You can let your hands come off your belly and just hold a ball about the size of a football in front of your tummy. Doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes it gives people back pain. You could always have your hands on your tummy or just have a really tiny ball in front. Doesn't really matter, whatever you choose. But if you can hold this little football in front of the belly, that's fine. Again, you don't even have to move your hands with this exercise. You can just move your mind. But it's quite nice to move the hands as well. You open the ball out from being maybe sort of football size to kind of beach ball, medicine ball, beach ball size, and then gently back to being football size again. So what's the purpose of La Chi? Well, there are many different ways to kind of move this ball. You can just gently stretch it open while I'm talking and then let it close. Perhaps it sort of finds its way in time with your breath almost. Gently stretching open. Gently relaxing back, but don't coordinate it with your breath. That's not necessary. But you just find the natural rhythm of your body that gently wants to open and close. So one of the ideas might be to use this opening and closing to heal, let's say, the whole of your body. So now you could imagine between your hands a tiny version of you standing there. And as you open your hands, you can imagine just dissolving all of the problems of your body. When you bring your hands back together, the body is perfect and everything is healed and everything's working well. Perhaps you might want to see you lying down, getting a bit of healing from you. That's extraordinary, but yes, and why not? So in your mind's eye. So this is often how I work with my clients. I imagine them lying on my massage bed, on my treatment table. And when I open, I imagine all the problems of their lives dissolving. And I imagine bringing healing chi back into their lives. So if you fancy working with someone else, work with yourself first. That's really important. But, at a later stage, you might want to think about doing this exercise for, a relation, a friend, somebody who's struggling. You could just imagine them lying there on the table, on the sort of, couch in front of you, as it were. And then as you open your hands, all of their problems just drift away, just melt back into the blue sky. And then when you bring your hands back together again, perfect healing takes place. So let's just work with that idea for a few moments. But put you in between your hands. When you draw the hands open, you can say kai. It's the Chinese word for open. When you say bring the hands together, you say Chinese word for close. So open has got so much more built into it, all these Chinese pictograms that have so much detail. And close doesn't do close justice at all. So perhaps open means dissolve, let go, expand, open, all of these kind of ideas. And perhaps her means close, draw in, gather, bring in all of this incredible healing chi. So just don't be too fixed on the idea of just open and close. Have this idea of expand and drift open and let go. When you bring your hands back together, bring healing chi deep inside, replenish. So let's open and say kai. Ka. And then when you bring your hands together, you can say softens and dissolves. Brings healing chi in to populate every cell of your body. Open yourself out into the blue sky. Then you can release all of your problems. Brings blue sky chi deep back inside every cell of your body, making this incredible healing. Body's relaxed and open, soft and dissolved. All problems disappearing. Draws chi inside, filling your body with chi. Do a couple more. So what else could you have between your hands? Perhaps you're very specifically working with something like your stomach, perhaps your liver, pancreas, perhaps your lungs, whatever it might be you're working with. You could just imagine a picture of your lungs. In fact, if you're working with lungs, for instance, it'd be a good thing to do to look in a medical dictionary and see kind of an illustration or photo of how lungs look when they're perfect, when they're working really well. And then just imagine them between your hands. So whatever part of your body you want, you can be very specific and put it between your hands. So just take somewhere, and I mean, it could also be something, like it could be the entire nervous system, the entire digestive system, the entire sexual reproduction system. Or it could be very specific. It could be down to something small, like, well, your heart or your pancreas, or perhaps a gland like your thyroid, those kind of things. So it depends how much detail you want to get into. So just to say, sometimes it works better for a science mind to really get into a sciencey background, to really get deep into how does it look? How does it look inside? How are the cells? Could I actually feel each cell dissolve at a DNA level and put back the whole organ as a perfect working item? But sometimes you can get a bit too deeply involved in it, and it's just better to work with your whole body to let everything, all the problems dissolve and come back. Only you can really design the perfect healing for you today, and the perfect healing for you might not be the same tomorrow. Don't get stuck. So let's think of something very specific for a few moments that we want to work with. We're going to dissolve by saying Kai. See whatever area of your body you've placed between your hands dissolve and open and let go. Whatever part of your body you're working with is healing beautifully, really nicely. Kai. Open space, open space. Kai. Healing chi goes deep inside your body, filling your body completely with this amazing healing chi. Open that part of the body, dissolve that part of the body. All of the problems dissolve into the blue sky and gone. Amazing healing chi back into your body. dissolving all the Western doctor problems, the markers, the diagnoses. Let them go. We bring back a perfect scenario for your body, everything working well. Soften and open. Draw this healing chi deep inside, bringing about a perfect healing for your body. Then we can just relax for a few moments. Your hands can just drift gently or stop or go back on your belly. There's no right or wrong with Lachi. You just make it work the way you want it to work. Also, you can do it when you're sitting on a bus. You don't have to be moving your hands. You don't have to be standing. You can be sitting and you can just imagine quietly dissolving all of your problems out into the blue sky and bringing back this fantastic healing energy in your body. So you don't have to make yourself look like a weirdo. You can just be happily drifting through your Qigong with your eyes closed, making your body dissolve into Qi and bringing the energy back. The only problem is you might dissolve on the bus and people might find it a bit strange. You suddenly become see-through. There's a lovely story about Dr. Pang giving a speech to an audience, and someone took a photograph of him. When they looked at the photograph, you could see all the way through Dr. Pang's body. And on the wall behind him, there were sort of two crossed swords, martial arts swords, and you could actually see them clear through his body. So they showed Dr. Pang the photo, and he was very cross. He sort of said, "My practice should be better than that. You shouldn't be able to see through me." And obviously, he just relaxed himself and dissolved into Qi to such a degree that he'd become transparent. And I've actually seen that photo, and it's not photoshopped because it's about 1970s. So you can just let this happen to your body. Let yourself gently dissolve. Let the Qi really, really go through your body and open your body up. Find your way to this perfect healing. So we're just going to finish off in a few moments. But what we want to do is just think about the standing posture one more time. Knees a little bit bent, back nice and straight, tailbone softly tucked, spine is long, back way lifted, chin slightly tucked in, soft chest, holding a ball of Qi. Mind just brushed away quietly. Mind settled and calm. This is where the real healing comes from. Allowing your body to absorb this energy. Your mind in a no-mind state. So we just bring our mind into a neutral place where it's no longer complaining and thinking and pointing out things and singing. And sometimes we just have to quietly brush it aside to find ourselves with a few moments of no mind space. And as soon as we drop into this no mind space, we can really start to connect ourselves to the universe. Really start to feel the universe flowing in our bodies. Really start to feel us just connecting with nature, connecting with everything that is around us, beginning to realize that we are just Qi, and then everything around us is just made of Qi. Then all we need to do is just bring ourselves back to our original blueprint, our original setting. Everything is Qi. All functions of the body working perfectly. We get the mind out of the way, and the body will move back into healing. By itself, it knows what to do. It doesn't need your mind to do it. In fact, sometimes it just needs your mind out of the way, just to quietly stand by while your body does its thing. If you cut yourself, do you have to think about how to fix that? Of course, the answer is no. Your body has the deep intelligence of how to return back perfectly, sometimes without even leaving a scar. You can't even see that you managed to cut yourself. How extraordinary is that? Your body has the information that's required to make the healing. No matter how traumatic the cut might be, your body can return back to perfect working order if you let it. If you're feeling the trauma and you're constantly going over the trauma, sometimes that's going to hold the trauma in place. Sometimes you just have to let go. Just let go. Just relax, for heaven's sakes. Take it easy. Give yourself some space to heal. It's good sometimes to be really, really focused on your healings. But it's equally as good sometimes just to let yourself off, just to love your body, just to relax, just to love your life, just to feel the universe and the chi. So if the hands, wherever they've got to, we can gently drift them back onto the belly. We can let the hands settle on the tummy. When you do that, you can feel deep inside the energy field, lower dantian. Sometimes it becomes very obvious. Sometimes you get this heat deep in your belly. Sometimes you feel a fullness of chi deep inside you. Sometimes a complete emptiness is just as relevant. A feeling of a sphere, a feeling of something inside. Sometimes you don't get anything at all. And that doesn't matter because there's nothing you can do that'll stop your body. Just be happy. It's all right. The Qigong's working. Everything's good. Everything's working well. So just bring your feet together into the standing posture of Zheneng Qigong. And we'll just do a little Zheneng Qigong closing to finish off. So let's bring our hands into the prayer position just in front of our hearts. And then we slowly stretch the hands up in front of the face, up over the top of the head. Give your spine a nice long stretch up into the blue sky. You can let the hands drift down a little bit and let your knees soften a little bit. And then we open up little fingers and ring fingers and middle fingers, triangle of chi over the crown of your head, and then just split the hands apart like a beautiful rainbow, drawing the hands down to shoulder height. When they arrive at shoulder height, you can scoop two lovely handfuls of chi, draw them round to the front, shoulder height and width, and then just send chi deep inside your brain. It's like holding a beautiful ball of chi in front of your third eye, sending this energy deep inside your brain. So we can heal our brains this way, heal ourselves from memory problems, let's say. So, and also fog. Sometimes we feel really fogged up by life. So just imagine your brain clear, working well, every synapse firing well, every neuron strong, clear, clean, working well, all the connections in the brain working well, all functions of the brain returning to perfect working order. And then we gently drift our elbows down and let the hands just come underneath the armpits to touch Da Bao. You gently touch Da Bao either side underneath the armpits, and you imagine connecting into the middle energy field in the center of your chest. When we send energy into the center of the chest, that supports the organs of the body. So your heart gets chi, your pancreas gets chi, your lungs, your kidneys, your liver and spleen get chi. All of the minor organs that are attached to them, bladder, gallbladder, the intestines, heart muscle, the pericardium, all of them benefit, and the stomach as well, benefit from these chi you're sending deep inside. And then all we do is just drift our hands gently backwards, pointing to the horizon behind. And then the back of the hands softly move forwards. When they're in line with the side of the body, turn the hands over. Now we have an opportunity to sweep a wave of chi out into the blue sky, kind of donating your energy for everybody else. And then you start to draw some back for yourself, gathering a ball of chi in front of you. Traditionally, it would be left hand first for men, right hand first for ladies. But these days, it doesn't really make any difference. It's what feels right to your body. You can imagine this beautiful ball of chi. You can imagine squeezing it, drawing it deep inside your belly, compacting it deep into the lower energy field, holding it there. This chi abundant, deep inside your belly. Imagine you can take this ball of chi, sweep it up your spine, all the way up your neck into your brain, fill your brain with chi, sweep it up into your shoulders and neck, down your arms to your fingertips, fill your whole of your spine and the ribs as well, the upper torso, the middle, deep into your lower torso, fill it all with chi. into your hips and pelvis, down into your hip joints, into your thighs, down into your knee joints, down into your ankles, down into your Achilles tendon, your calves, ankles, Achilles tendon, and of course, your feet, soles of the feet, tips of the toes, the whole back surface of your body. We sometimes forget about the back of the body, concentrate on the front. Chi in every aspect of your body, blood and chi flowing well through every part of your body healing well, all functions of your body returning to perfect working order. Just imagine that. You set that in motion now. You move that, you shift that idea, and your body responds. And we know sometimes it takes a while for the body to respond, but that's fine. The body moves a bit more slowly than the mind. But you just take one little step each day in the direction of healing, and eventually your body catches up with that, and the healing happens. Sometimes it happens instantaneously. Problems disappear, gone. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, so please have patience with your body. It's just doing its best. All functions of your body, perfect working order. All functions normal. All functions of your body, normal. Okay, to close, we just let our hands gently down below the belly button and then take a circle towards the left, up over the top, down towards your right foot, circle a second time, circle a third time. And as we do that, it just sort of gathers any excess energy deep into the belly. And then we can circle 3 times the opposite direction, going round. And this just signals to your body, we've come to the end of our exercises. We just have to come back into our daily mode, into our daily lives, drop back into that from our chi state, but we can still remember this chi state. We can still remember it through our bodies. Anytime today you're feeling a bit stressed, you can just bring yourself back to your chi place. I sometimes just take one breath. I just imagine breathing in through my nostrils and all the chi kind of gathers in my brain. And as I breathe out, I sink all the chi down into my belly and really center myself in my belly. And so just one breath brings me back into my body, just reminds me everything's okay. It's all fine. Don't worry. Everything will be good. So if you need to center yourself today, bring it back with one breath back into this lovely chi state. And then we can just remind ourselves that everything is okay. So as you stand here, just imagine lower dantian, this energy field deep in your belly, glowing. But just imagine also that it generates a field of energy around your skin. It's called your Wei Qi layer. It's like a sort of protective shield of Qi, like a suit of Qi around your body. Keeps you safe from viruses and bacteria and any energies that you don't want to take on. You have this lovely kind of shield around you. And then imagine your Qi body. It's like a meter in front, behind, left, right, up, down, a big bubble of Qi around you, protecting you, but also connects you to the outside world as well, connects you appropriately to the outside world. Just see yourself a being of light inside these wonderful shields of energy. Everything safe, everything working well, all functions of your body normal, all functions normal. Great. Put a big smile on your face, slowly open your eyes, release your hands down by the sides. No doubt you might need to shake out your legs a bit, get the chi moving again, shake out your arms a bit. If you want to bend, that's no problem, but don't come up quickly. So if you need to give your back a little bit of a stretch out, you can always do that. But just make sure you come up very gingerly, very slowly, just to allow the chi to move around the body. Perhaps you need to move the shoulders a little bit. So when you've had a stretch out, we're going to finish off just by saying hao la. So hao la means good already in Chinese. Good already. All the things we've done already fixed. So we say hao la. We'll do it 3 times. And the idea is the first hao la is kind of for you. Everything is good already in my body. Second hao la, you can imagine your friends, your family, everything good for them. The third time you say hao la, it's just good for everybody in the universe. And so if you want to join in, you can unmute yourselves and you can say howla, doesn't matter. You can say howla without being unmuted, doesn't matter. And the other thing is that we'll put our hands up in the air. I'll count 1, 2, and then we shout howla. So lift the hands up in the air. Okay, so 1, 2. Howla. 1, 2. Howla. The last time. 1, 2. Very good. Excellent. Okay, so we've got a little salute for each other. I don't know if you know, but in Buddhism, they always put their hands together like this. In Taoism, it's something like this. But in Zheneng Qigong, we've got a salute that's called entirety hands. So what you do is you bring your right hand up and you put your left hand down, and then you pull your fingertips together and you put the thumbs on top. So holding this kind of hand like a sort of yin and yang symbol, really, an entirety. You lift your elbows up. Really good to see you all. Thank you very much for being here. And as per usual, I'm going to put this out on YouTube. And so if it would be great if when I publish it, if you're not on the WhatsApp group, you can go to my website and find the WhatsApp group. If you're not on my website, you can sign up for my newsletter and then you'll get my WhatsApp group as well. And then the idea is that when it goes up on YouTube, you can spread it around and send it to your friends and things like that. Have a lovely day. Take it nice and easy.